One of the most fundamental things that we need to understand when we're doing change in our life is the difference and the power between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. If we're going to change our lives, if we're going to release the limiting patterns in our life and reach goals and reach new goals, then we're going to need to be able to change at the subconscious level of mind. Let's look at the differences between the conscious mind and the subconscious. The conscious mind, to start off with, is volitional. All that really means is it's the part of our mind that makes those choices and decisions. It sets goals and judges the results. At the first of the year, you might decide to make a New Year's resolution. You might say, well, this year, by this date, I'm going to lose so many pounds. Or I'm going to make this much money this year. Or I'm going to go out and find a romantic partner. So it sets the goals, and as we do the activities to reach our goals, it will judge the results. It's interested in new things. It will be curious and open to learning new things. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is quite different. It likes the familiar rather than new things. It feels safe when things in its environment are something it's used to. It's habitual in nature. It's looking at our environment from a habitual nature. It's running our lives. Probably 90% of our lives are run at the subconscious level of mind, completely on automatic in this habitual form. And it runs these programs, typically, that it picks up in early childhood about how to behave, how to fit in around the family, etc. And it continues to run those habitual behaviors throughout our entire life. It also monitors our body and looks after our safety in a sense of, are we breathing, is our blood flowing, what about our hormones, all of those kinds of things. It's there to keep us safe, and typically it does a very good job of that. The conscious mind is able to think very abstractly. Well, what do I mean by abstract? Well, a word that might be very abstract is wealth. Now, wealth to some people could mean all about money and possessions and things like this. Whereas wealth to somebody else, it could be another interpretation of this abstract term called wealth. Another interpretation like, well, it's about lots of family and friends and a wealth of love as well as money and lots of food on the table and lots of relationships. It could be very broad definition versus a specific definition around money. So the conscious mind can handle these abstractions very well, and we think we know what someone is saying consciously, but we may not know the details. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is very literal. And if we want to work with the subconscious mind and tell it what we want to do, we almost have to treat it like a young child. Tell it specifically, this is what we want, and this is what it's going to look like, this is what it's going to sound like, and this is what it's going to feel like when it's actually there. The conscious mind has very short-term memory. About 25 seconds, not a long-term memory. So its capacity for memory is not very long. If we're going to remember names and numbers and other things in our life, we'll need to have some mechanism to get it into the subconscious level of mind, which stores all of our memories from our entire life in some fashion. So it's responsible for our long-term memory. The conscious mind is rather time-bound. It's in the past or it's in the future. We might be worried about what happened yesterday in a meeting we had with someone, so we're focusing on the past, or we're wondering about that next encounter with that person and whether it will go as well as we think it will, and so we're dreaming about the future, daydreaming or reviewing past memories. The conscious mind is often one or the other. The subconscious mind it's like an eternal presence, as if everything's happening right now. So if you think of a stressful memory and you get into the feeling of a stressful memory, chances are it'll be like it's right there. You'll feel the tension come up. You might feel some stress in your body just thinking about that. It's as if it is happening right now. The capacities of the conscious mind versus subconscious mind are also dramatically different. The conscious mind can do 1 to 3 events at a time. not a great multitasker. If you take me, it's probably closer to one event at a time. If I'm on the phone, there's no way that I can be reading or writing an email. Whereas I know friends, women friends, that can do that. They can be on the phone with me and I wouldn't know if they're actually writing an email at the same time. They're able to do that. I personally couldn't. They would say, "Hey, Richard, are you there? What's going on?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm not present." The conscious mind can handle about 40 bits of information per second. Not a huge capacity in terms of its speed and performance. Now, bits of information per second are a computer-like term. How many on-off decisions, how many choices can it make in a second? And the conscious mind is fairly slow relative to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind having very high capacity. It can do thousands of events at a time. After all, it's checking our world. If we walk into a room, there's something at a subconscious level of mind that will be monitoring people in the room, whether there's safety or danger in that room relative to its program to keep us safe. And we might just walk in the room and feel some stress and not even know why. It's because the subconscious mind is checking things out for us before we're even consciously aware of that. And its capacity for doing work is about 40 million bits of information per second. 1 million times more powerful than our conscious mind. And it turns out that if we want to do something, if we have a goal, and the subconscious mind is working against us at 40 million bits of information per second, with this kind of power, the conscious mind, 1 million times slower, hasn't got much chance. And that's why we sometimes find ourselves procrastinating and sabotaging ourselves and just not moving forward with certain goals. It's because we have limiting beliefs at the subconscious level of mind, which is holding us or even pushing us in the opposite direction. A metaphor that I've sometimes used is like a train on a track. I might be manually going down the track with one of these devices, which I can use my muscular power to move this cart along the track. I might be doing that. That'd be like the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is like that locomotive, that train. And if I've got that train coming against me, chances are I'm going backwards. However, if I can change the limiting beliefs in my subconscious mind, if I can get my subconscious mind working with beliefs that are in integrity and in the same direction as my conscious goals, it's like that train is behind me and pushing me. So all I need to do is practically sit back and let the subconscious mind create my dreams. Highly important that you have your subconscious mind on board with your conscious goals if you're going to achieve the dreams in your life.